Can you fly a drone in the rain? Is it a complete non-starter, or is there an acceptable amount of precipitation in which you can fly your drone? We'll show you why these drones are more water resistant than you might think. We'll give you a whole bunch of tips to help you reduce the chance of water on your lens ruining your shot. And we'll explain the risk-reward calculation that you can make to help decide whether you should be taking off in the rain. We asked you guys what you think about this, and as you can see, about half of you would reluctantly do it in light rain and half of you not at all. Oh my word, this is our chance. It's still raining, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'm trying to make a point of keeping this drone pointed down so we don't get any rain on the lens. This is the amount of rain that we're talking about, quite a bit as you can see in the puddle, albeit you don't see it in the footage. This relatively light rain is not impairing the quality of our shot. In this shot, I'd say the rain was medium and again, not really causing any problems. Here, however, it really was pouring down. The shot looks okay, but the footage is soft, and I think that is because the lens is actually covered in water. But nonetheless, if the aircraft is okay, then we know that we can get good footage in the rain. So let's get the drone down and have a look at the aircraft. It's pretty wet, it has to be said. There's water on the lens as well. In terms of the integrity of the airframe, the drone's warm, like it's hot. It's hot from that flight. The weak spot is undoubtedly the motors. If we take a propeller off, you can see the exposed copper coil there. However, when these motors are spinning at however many RPM, I don't think there's a whole lot of water going to be getting in there during flight. Added to that, these things get very, very hot, so any moisture is going to evaporate. As for when the drone is in the sky, the airflow over the body is going to push some of that moisture off the airframe. The bottom line at the end of the day, as much as you don't want to get your drone wet, you can get it wet. So when you bring it down, make sure you dry it off, stick it on your car heater, and actually, a little tip, switch it back on. That way it's going to start to heat up, so if there is any moisture in the internal circuitry, which hopefully there isn't, but nonetheless, things are going to get pretty hot in there. Some of the drones have a fan which is blowing that air out of the body of the drone along with the moisture. It's going to dry things off pretty quickly. Oh my word. Which way is the rain coming in from, Alina? From the pointy mountainside. That's awkward. That means the rain is actually going to come into the lens. Right, that's officially raining now. Now you know you can fly your drone in reasonably wet conditions. How do you avoid the water spoiling your shots when it gets on the lens? First off, plan your flight and the shots you want to take. The less time you spend in the air, the better. With that in mind, take off as close to your subject as possible. We parked the car as close as we could to the dam that we wanted to film. If possible, fly to the starting point of your intended shot with the camera pointed down. Flying backwards will also reduce the chance of your camera hitting that rain. If you do get a problem drop of water on your lens, flick the gimbal up and down a couple of times to try and shift it. Sit in the car when flying. The controller's not waterproof either, and you might as well stay dry. Mindful of everything we've just discussed, should you fly your drone in the rain? Well, are you getting paid to take that risk? Do you have a backup drone? Can you afford to not fly that day? For us, flying the drone is a business. We make YouTube content and we sell courses, both of which make us money. We have come to the middle of nowhere in Scotland. We've booked a hotel, we've paid for petrol, we're going to have an expensive restaurant bill tonight. There's a lot of money at stake if we do not get something tangible from this adventure. In this scenario, we have two potential risks. One is the risk of losing the drone, and on the other hand, we have the risk of losing a whole bunch of income. Cost of trashing a drone? Well, here in Scotland, anywhere between £500 and £1,000. Cost of not being able to work, lost income? Well, I'm not sure what that number is, but in our case, it's more than the cost of the drone. Now let's assign some probabilities to either of those outcomes happening. Probability of crashing a drone because of the rain? I mean, based on our experience, it's actually zero, but maybe we put it at 5 or 10%, who knows? But it's very, very low. Cost of losing all your money if you don't work? 100%. Anyway, that's how we assess the risk. It's not for me to say how you should. Most importantly, however, is that you do not endanger other people or other people's property with your reckless flying, which is why we are in the middle of nowhere. Now you can fly more often than you maybe thought you could. You're going to want to know the best shots to do with your drone, so watch this video up here.